James Turner for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I had to come on here and talk about this because, you know, as many of you know, I am part of Team Angelo Leo, and you know, Angelo's one of my closest friends in the world, and he happens to also be one of the best fighters in the world, in my opinion. And if you don't believe, you'll find out as time goes on. But Angelo has a mandatory that's been called, or that not called, but that's now, you know, now we have one. Now we know who it is, because a fighter won an eliminator, and that's none other than the former WBO bantamweight champion, you know, Osaka, Japan's very own Tomoki Kameda. He's now the challenger to Angelo Leo, and he now is a guy that I think would make for an attractive option with Angelo. Now, really and truthfully, we don't got to fight him next. We don't have to. Because you don't have to fight in the IBF. You don't have to fight your mandatory challenger till 9 years, or not 9 years, 9 months, I should say, 9 months from the day he wins the title, becomes a mandatory challenger. So with that being said, he became mandatory challenger. I think it was in August. So I'm thinking that's what, April or May. He has until about April or May to fight Tomoki Kameda, or otherwise the IBF will have to strip Angelo, right? So you can take a voluntary first if we wanted to. We could pick a guy in the rankings that, you know, is obviously good, incredible, and highly ranked, but that we obviously think we could beat. You know, that would be, you know, a step down from a Vonado Lopez or even a Kameda. You know, we could do that and then fight Kameda, or we could fight Kameda, then do the voluntary, or fight Kameda and the unification if the opportunity presents itself. So it is what it is. I personally love the idea of fighting Tomoki Kameda because, for one, he's a true warrior of the sport. I mean, this is a guy that's been at a high level for a long time. This guy, Kameda, was world champion 10 years ago. We're talking like, what, he won his world title in 2013, over 10 years ago. Had 3 world title defenses. So he was relevant 10 years ago. Angelo turned pro in 2013. So when Angelo was just becoming a professional fighter, Tomoki Kameda was world champion. And now, even, you know, 11 years into Angelo's career, Tomoki Kameda is still operating at the world-class high level. So that shows you how good he is. That shows you how relevant he is in the sport. He would definitely be one of the most experienced fighters Angelo has ever fought, because right now, as it stands in his career, he's got 46 fights in the pro ranks, and he's seen a lot in the pro ranks. He's seen a lot of different styles, a lot of different fighters. So I love the fight, and I love the fight for what he brings to the table as far as his style. He's an aggressive fighter, come forward. Obviously, Kameda, like, he speaks better Spanish than Angelo, all right? And he speaks better Spanish than a lot of Mexican-American and even some Mexican fighters. I mean, speaks very good Spanish. He really did ingratiate himself to the Mexican boxing fans years ago when he was fighting in the States. And I think this fight could be a very attractive option for Top Rank and all parties involved to do here in the States. If not in Albuquerque, at least in, you know, LA or something like that. You know, there's definitely a lot of options for this fight. And you know, he's gonna come forward and he's gonna look for the fight. And we know Angelo, you know, he can box, he can punch. We know Angelo is a pretty well-rounded fighter. So I think their styles would mesh very well and give the viewing public something really cool. And the other part of it is, and I wanted to touch on this, is obviously we know that the dream fight for any fighter around these weights is a Naoya Inoue fight. Naoya Inoue is the money man around these weights. Naoya Inoue is the guy that, should you defeat him, you get the most clout and the most you know, recognition for beating, right? Because nobody's ever beat him, and he's a damn good fighter, and he's a hard guy to knock off, you know? So the fighter that does beat Inoue will probably put themselves on a trajectory towards potentially a Hall of Fame career, because that's the kind of level Inoue is at, right? And obviously, we at Team Leo, I definitely think we can beat Inoue. Even though a lot of you guys say it's crazy, we think we can. We think Angelo has things in his style to beat Inoue. But we don't want to be handed an Inoue fight. I don't want Angelo to, even me, like, just as his friend and as a boxing fan, I don't want Angelo to get handed an Inoue fight. I want to see him earn it. And Kameda is actually one of not just 2, but one of 3 Japanese fighters in the IBF rankings that we could potentially be fighting in either a mandatory or voluntary scenario. Like, for example, if you look at the rankings, Tomoki Kameda is the mandatory challenger. Then you got Reiya Abe, who's number 6. And then you got Keisuke Matsumoto at number 9. Obviously, we know Reiya Abe is a fighter that that challenged for the title against Bernardo Lopez. Good, skilled southpaw fighter. Not a whole lot of power, honestly, but a guy that's a skilled southpaw fighter. Respected in Japan, been Japanese champion, beat Masayoshi Nakatani. You know, he's credible. You know, he's in those rankings for a reason. All right, so you got him. And I wouldn't mind that fight. You know, it's a southpaw. Angelo hasn't fought a southpaw, I think, since when? Since he fought Tremaine Williams, or since he fought Aaron Alameda. Angelo's last fight against a southpaw was probably the hardest fight of his career when he fought Aaron Alameda and barely squeaked by him, you know? So that being said, I wouldn't mind a Reiya Abe. I wouldn't mind that fight. I wouldn't mind fighting him. And then number 9 is Keisuke Matsumoto, who really is a unknown quantity to boxing fans. I recently just now have gotten around to watching him because I'm watching all these guys in the IBF Featherweight rankings. And he's a good fighter. He's a bit of a taller featherweight. He's not quite as tall as Espinoza, but he's 5'9". Has that, you know, traditional Japanese discipline base of fundamentals. He's what a normal Japanese fighter is. Well schooled, down the middle, good straight right hand, you know. And I believe he's fighting for the Japanese title soon. So he could also be a guy that later on we might wind up fighting. So there is a pathway to really get Inoue's attention. And I think that pathway for Angelo is not just to win, but also fight some of these Japanese guys. So if he fights and beats any 2 of those 3, I think it'll help Angelo build fanfare in Japan, and it'll help Angelo build fanfare for the Inoue fight, you know? And Angelo has a lot of experience sparring Japanese fighters. Like, he sparred Tenshin Nasukawa, he sparred Subaru Murata, and obviously he sparred Tomoki Kameda many years ago as well. So, you know, he's got that familiarity with the Japanese style. He has that familiarity with Tomoki Kameda, and I would like that fight. And I think it'd be a fun fight for the boxing fans. So I'm not sure if that's what's going to be his next fight. We'll see. But it definitely is one of the 2 options, because it's either going to be Tomoki or voluntary, you know. So we'll see how it goes. But either way, I like him. I like Angelo against pretty much all the Japanese fighters. I think out of all the Japanese fighters, from what I've seen as far as style goes, the guy that I think could maybe give Angelo the most problems of the 3 Japanese fighters ranked in the IBF would be Keisuke Matsumoto. 5'9", bit taller than most featherweights, but he's not like a stick figure like Rafael Espinoza. He's got a good frame on him, strong. He's an Ohashi boxing gym fighter, meaning that, you know, he gets probably really good sparring. I wouldn't be surprised if Inoue sparred him at some point. He's probably sparred Inoue. And I've been inside the Ohashi gym, and I've seen. I didn't see the men train, but I saw the little kids train at Ohashi gym. And the little kids for the age are very advanced. So I could only imagine what it's like for the men that are out that gym. And, you know, there's a lot of good fighters in that gym. You got Inoue, you got Takuma, you got Andy Hiroka. There's a lot of heat coming out that gym. So if you're an Ohashi fighter and you're getting that kind of sparring, you got to be pretty sharp yourself just to last there. That's how it goes. So I think personally, you know, Tomoki's a very good fighter. I don't overlook his experience and what he brings to the table. But I think you know, he's lost a step. I do think Tomoki is a fighter that stylistically, there's some things in his style that really favor Angelo. So I think, you know, there's a couple ways to beat him. Reiya Abe, there's a couple ways to beat him as well. I just don't think he has that firepower to keep Angelo off, and I don't think he's gonna outbox him. And then, so I like Matsumoto. I think Matsumoto, out of all the Japanese fighters ranked in the IBF, I think he's the strongest guy, and I think he would actually probably pose the most danger. But yeah, that's the news. I not rambled on, but Tomoki Kameda is Angelo's mandatory challenger. That is an option, and I would love the fight. I like Tomoki. I respect him. He's been in boxing for a long time, and he's a true warrior of the sport, and I got a lot of respect for him. So I wouldn't mind seeing that fight next. But let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about a potential Angelo Leo versus Tomoki Kameda fight next? He's the IBF mandatory challenger. We're not going to look. I want to say it again because I know I'll get the comments. We're probably not going to get any of the champions next because they're all tied up with fights. We can't do nothing about that. So all we can do is just see what the next move is for us. And God willing, you know, I'm thinking maybe from what Bob Arum told us on camera, because it's on camera when Angelo saw Bob Arum after the Venado fight. Angelo should be back in the ring sometime, you know, early in the year, you know, and back in Albuquerque. So come out to the next fight. Definitely continue to support us and Team Leo. And yeah, I'll definitely be talking about this as it develops. I kind of wanted to get my, initial thoughts out there on this. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterfield, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.